I wanted to make a pair of high-waisted shorts from a colorful African fabric. I had found and bought a nice red and green fabric. I sketched the short as I imagined it, and colored the short on my sketch as per fabric to have a more realistic idea. I cleared my workspace, leaving on the table my big cutting mat, some essential tools, and of course, my sewing machine, which is a Singer Heavy Duty 4423, a domestic machine suitable for fashion, as well as upholstery project, very convenient and enjoyable to work with. To make the cutting process easier, I'm going to use one of my old pair of shorts to transfer the patterns to be cut. I turn the shorts inside out and start transferring one side of the front pattern, making sure to reach all the different corners. I get the overall pattern and make some alterations to adapt the pattern to meet my design. Slightly bigger on the side, considering the fact that the fabric I'm using is a cotton fabric non-stretch. On the contrary to the shorts I got the pattern from, which is a stretchy jeans. I extend the waist higher. I create the front fly, but I make a mistake by not extending it enough, as it should have come up to this point. A mistake I will realize and fix at some point. I cut out the pattern and make it double, mirrored for the other front leg. I do the same for the back part. Transfer marks, alter, cut. I also double it in mirror for the other back leg. My fabric is quite light for my design, so I add a lining to each part using the same fabric. I simply double all 4 parts so they could be thicker and stronger. I had planned to have some cutouts and also add some ornaments in and between. To do so, I set the sewing machine to one of the crossed stitch design, then machine around some patterns. I then choose a colored thread, dark green, replace the black thread I had before, the machine to a different stitch design, and machine the same areas again. Then, with a pair of scissors, I cut off the inside areas. I use a small zigzag stitch to neaten the inside and outside leg seams, as well as the bottom seams of all the pieces except for the waist seams. I need to add some loose floral ornament from the same fabric. I choose and cut some pieces of fabric with floral patterns in the center. I remember to double the fabric so it could be thicker. Then machine around the floral patterns using the same nice stitch design option on the machine I had used previously. Then cut them out around the stitch from outside. I make a few of them and put them aside for now. I join the front leg and the back leg at the outside and inside leg seams to make each leg. I join the crotch seams right side to right side, stopping at the central front. After fitting the short for the first time, I realized the mistake I had made by not extending the front flies enough. I corrected by adding a piece of fabric to each front part. According to my design, I need to have the fold line right in the center. I decide to place buttons instead of a zip, but I will hide the buttons afterward. To do so, I leave the left hand front fly extending and fold the right hand front along the fold line so they can overlap. I fit the shorts for the second time. I noticed that the fronts are overlapping properly and the fold line is right in the middle. Even the mistake I had corrected is not visible. I do need to make some adjustment. I need to tighten the sides by the hips a bit. Add 2 darts at the back, and the crotch also needs to be slightly tightened up as the bottom looks a little bit saggy. I mark all the different alterations and machine them. Now I need to add the waistband. I transfer the waistband pattern starting from the back, then the 2 front, then cut them all the same height. I apply a lightweight fusible interfacing to the waist facing pieces, then join the back and the front facings. I place the facing to the shorts at the waist edge right side to right side, matching at the side seams and matching the top front. I pin and machine. I trim the facing side of the seam to half its width. Clip the seam allowance to reduce bulk. I will understitch the seam toward the facing and turn the facing to the inside. I must now add the buttons. I place the buttons at equal distance using a hand needle with double thread. I locate the buttonholes. I place a spare button in the button foot. Place the foot to the machine. I set the machine to buttonhole option on the length and on the stitch. Then create the buttonhole stitches. I now need to place the floral ornaments I had previously made. The buttons go through the holes perfectly. I place most of them randomly but balanced on the right side, and I need to hide the buttons. I eventually decide to only leave the top button visible. I will then pin them to place and stitch them just on different corners so they can look loose. Now it's done. I hope you have enjoyed this demo. Don't forget to like and follow us, and subscribe to the channel for more informative demos and ideas. Keep well and see you soon.